Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Brooke. I started a vlog back in October, and my computer took a nosedive, so I wasn't able to finish it. Now I have a new computer that I can play with, and I've borrowed from a friend of mine who was so gracious to let me use his. So I'm going to continue on like a brand new page in a book, and I'm going to start off with the Seamstress Tag. The Seamstress Tag is 1 through 11 questions that ask you who you are, why you started sewing, all sorts of information so you guys can get to know me better. The first question of the Seamstress Tag is, who are you? My name is Brooke, and I live in a suburb of Chicago. I really love it here. It's absolutely beautiful. We have a dynamic town, and we have beautiful weather. So if you ever get to Chicago, you got to come and see our beautiful city because it's absolutely dazzling. I am a sewer. I'm a crafter. I really enjoy all aspects of crafting, and I love shabby chic, and I love rockabilly, and I love all aspects of sewing and dressing, and I'm a retro dresser. The second question is, when and why did you start? So I started sewing back in the 90s. My mom and I were at a service merchandise of all places, and I was walking around, and I was ready to like move on to something else creative, and I saw a sewing machine, and I fell in love with it. It was a Singer, and I was just like, oh my god, I love this. And Mom's like, would you like that for Christmas? And I was like, yes, I would. And she goes, okay, let's see what Santa says. So I was like, okay, and I was really excited. So that was how I started sewing. Why I sew now is a lot different than just curiosity and seeing if I could do it back then. I sew now because I have a passion for fashion, and the fact that the things that I really like that are retro fashion and 1950s, 1940s, I wanted to make because I wanted it to be modern, like you could wear it now, but you know, still have that twist, and also the fact that everything is made out of this country. It's not made in the USA. And the things that I really care about and find important to me, fashion-wise, I couldn't buy. So to me, if I'm going to sew something, it's going to be something that's pretty darn special. So those are some of the reasons why I started sewing. Proudest makes. That's a hard one. The proudest make that I had is a pair of shorts that I made when I first started sewing clothing, and I really had a hard time making shorts, pants, and yeah, it was a pair of shorts that were pink. They were like boxer shorts, and they had white polka dots on them, and they were really, really super cute. And when I finished with that, I was like over the moon when I figured out like how to do it. And that leads to the fourth question, which was the most disastrous make. The most disastrous make that I ever made was the shorts that I am now talking to you about. Those shorts, I was so devastated. I did everything on the pattern. I'm sure it was a simplicity pattern. I did everything that it said, and I didn't just do it once. I did it over and over, and I couldn't figure out that when you laid the pattern down to sew the inside seam, I couldn't figure it out for whatever reason, and every time I turned the shorts inside out, it would be one leg. So I sewed the crotch seam to the back to the front. Somehow I really screwed it up, but it wasn't just once that I did it. I did it over and over and over again, and I mean literally I was in tears. I was taking things, I was throwing stuff across the room. I mean, I was a hot mess. And I was like, why can't I get this? You know, and I was just freaking out. And then I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And there was just no way that I was going to let this pattern beat me. So after I learned how to do it, I was like, ha ha ha, I've mastered this plan, you know. And that gave me, if I could get through that, I could get through anything. So that was my worst, and the most disastrous, my most proudest make was probably the same thing. The fifth question, number 5, is favorite place to fabric shop. So I love Joanna Fabrics. I absolutely love Joanna Fabrics. I love Hobby Lobby. But my favorite place to go, and I don't get to go there nearly often enough, is Material Girl. It's in Crystal Lake, Illinois, and it is the coolest fabric shop. It's a quilting shop. And since I like to retro dress, and I usually, when I sew, I like the fabric to kind of reflect the work instead of my sewing skill. So I really love the patterns they have there. They have really unique, quirky, fun, kitschy, novelty fabrics that I just absolutely love. So that's my favorite place to go. And that's in Crystal Lake, Illinois. So if you get a chance to go to Material Girl in Crystal Lake, Illinois, go there because it's really super good. Excuse me. Most used pattern. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. The most used pattern that I'm using right now is the Buttrick B6094, which is this one right here. Buttrick. It's kind of ripped. And it's that one. And it's a cross between that and I put it together with the Buttrick vintage pattern B4513, which is this one. Right there. I use the skirt from this and I pair it with the top from this. And these right now, as you can see, they're ripped and they're not in the best of shape. And I use them all the time because they really marry well together. And right now, with everything that I'm doing 1950s-ish, that is the best marriage of the two patterns together. So those are my two most used patterns right now. Next question is most dreaded sewing task. Oof. The most dreaded sewing task is one that I just had. I absolutely hate this. It happened to me yesterday. I'll be going along on a pattern and I'll run out of something. And then it'll be the 11th hour. It'll be like 7 o'clock at night and I can't leave my house to go get more of it. Or I'll go to the store and the store won't have it. Oh my God, it drives me absolutely flipping crazy. I go nuts with that. It happened yesterday, day before yesterday. I went and I was finishing off a skirt, an underskirt, and I was using tulle with it, and Hobby Lobby carries the tulle that I use, and it's like a sparkly pink tulle, which I'll show you later on. And I was on Sunday, and Hobby Lobby is closed on Sunday. It happened Saturday night, and Sunday it was closed. So I was so furious because to me that's a day of wasted sewing. I could have been doing this, and I didn't end up getting done. So that just frustrates the heck out of me. That you'll see me go nuts. It doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it's so hard because you get in the zone. It's like football. I love football. But you get in the zone and you're sewing along, you're making all this progress and you're wagging your tail and you're just like, yeah, I'm doing this. And you're like, oh no, I ran out of thread, or oh no, shoot, I need, 5 more panels of this. I'll just go to the store and get it. And then you can't go to the store and you're out of the zone, and by the time that you get everything, you've wasted time and energy, and that has to do with being a better prepared sewer. Yes, it does. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't happen too often, but God, it makes me mad. Favorite sewing task? Easy, buying fabric. That's my favorite sewing task, and sewing, and then trying it on. And that kind of goes back to I hate altering patterns. Oh my God. Oh, that drives me crazy. You do everything that the pattern says and then you put it on and it doesn't fit right. That drives me crazy. And then that's just a whole other bag of worms that I just want to get into because it's not fun, and you've got to sit there and you're like, okay, it's not fitting in my chest right, or it's not fitting the back right, and then you have to readjust something, and that's not fun. That's never fun. 8? Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. We're on 9. Favorite sewing entertainment. Okay. So my favorite sewing entertainment that came first and will always be forever, and I will mention only one name, and that's Tim Gunn, because that's Project Runway. I love all aspects of Project Runway. And before there was YouTube for me, there was Project Runway. And that to me was the most exciting thing I ever saw in my life. And I actually met someone. I was at work one day and I was wearing one of my skirts. And this woman came up to me and said, I know Nina Garcia and you should try out for Project Runway. And I was like, oh no, I couldn't do that. Because I could never fit a model. I don't think. I mean, I could, but I don't. It just isn't. But that was like, wow. That was like my moment of almost like, wow, that was really kind of cool. That's like knowing somebody who knows Tom Brady or, never mind, I'm going off the grid there. But yeah, it first was Project Runway. And then I started going onto YouTube and I found Lisa Comfort in Sew Over It, which was, thank you, Lisa. She has inspired us all, I think. She is like Helen of Troy. She launched 1,000 ships. She had inspired me so much because she was the first person that I mean, I live in a very conservative area. When I say conservative, I mean very conservative. And there's nothing wrong with that, except that when you walk down the street and you're wearing like your cute little rock and roll dress, people are, they don't look at you like you're insane. They're like, oh my God, that's really cute, but why aren't you driving an SUV and wearing like something that says North Face on it? No offense against anybody who wears North Face. I just don't wear North Face. I'm just not there. I'm not a soccer mom. I never will be. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not at all. I'm just not that person. I don't drink Starbucks. I don't drive an SUV. And I'm not a soccer mom. But I totally have gotten off the beaten path, so let's get back on. So YouTube, yes. So Lisa Comfort, thank you. Everybody that's out there from Lisa Comfort, Gabadashery. Oh my God, huge fan. Gabby is just totally so cool. And Sewn and everybody that's out there that is doing their job and bringing this community together so that people like myself and other like-minded people can get out there and be like, hey, you know what? I'm not alone. This is really cool. That's my favorite entertainment. I love watching you guys. So keep producing, keep making all your videos. They're so much fun, and there's quirkiness and fun, and I love it when you guys do your vlog and you take us along, and it just inspires me. It just is so much fun. So that would be, 10. Printed or PDF? Printed. I am not a tech-savvy girl. I don't even own a smartphone. Printed all the way. Always. Sewing machine. I have a 1990s Singer 5932. I have a collection of sewing machines. I'm a big vintage girl. So back in 2001, there was the Kiwanis was having a sale, and I found my very first vintage. No, that wasn't when it was. Well, anyway, I found my first vintage electric machine, which is from, I want to say, the 1940s, maybe, perhaps. And then from then, before that even, I had a treadle machine that I still have. In fact, I sew on top of my sewing table that has the treadle machine underneath it, which is also, those are both Singers. What I was really looking for was a Kenmore, and I ended up just recently going to my favorite thrift store, one of them, and they had a Kenmore. So I've got a 1950s Kenmore, or 1960s, kind of, I'm not sure what the date on that is. But I've got a vintage sewing machine that I love. And then I went on eBay, and there was a 1980s pink Singer that was out there. And I ordered it on eBay. It was for like $80, not even 75, I think it was. And the chick that did it sent it to me in a cardboard box with tissue paper around it. That sewing machine weighs about 35, 40 pounds. It came in a box. It was in mint condition. And when I got it, it was cracked. And oh my God, anyway, so I ended up getting my money back. I also got to keep the sewing machine. The box is just totally, completely ruined. There are chips, but I got it up and running, and it actually runs. So I'm really happy for that. So I have a collection of sewing machines that I absolutely love. and if I get another sewing machine to replace the ones that I have, I always trade out. I'll always donate. So if I get anything new, I'll donate out. I'll give it to either like a can I never remember the name, Goodwill or a home goods store or something like that, where I'll donate, because that's only fair. When you have a collection of something, you're blessed. It's a blessing enough to have one sewing machine, let alone 4. So I always donate. The last and final question is other hobbies. I do furniture rehab. I sew curtains. I sew all sorts of aspects of sewing, crocheting, knitting, which I'll bring on this channel. Hobbies that I do. I'm a big sports fan. I love football, and I like to play football. I love frisbee golf, and I like to play frisbee golf and badminton. So those are my other hobbies, and making jewelry and any aspect of design, house, plants, gardening. I mean, I love it all. And that is the end of the Seamstress Tag questions. So I don't know if that lets you know a little bit more about me, but just to let you know that on this channel, I'm going to be bringing pattern reviews and fabric hauls and all sorts of deliciousness and all kinds of pictures of things that I've made and things that inspire me. So I just want to say thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a pleasant afternoon, and I'll be talking to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye now.